Aloha, fellow travelers. Suvuya surfers. Anybody out there? Am I the only one here? Probably not. Silence is golden, we all know that. Red electric dragon. I activate in order to nurture. Bonding being. I seal the input of birth with the electric tone of service. I am guided by the power of life force. Wave spell of the blue storm. I'm just looking in my own mind at a lot of information. Where am I gonna inject the needle of my mind into the skin of a bubble and suck out whatever info wants to come out? It's a horrible picture. Oh, but what's a really nice picture is inserting a needle, like a injection kind of needle, or maybe a acupuncture needle into a soap bubble and not bursting it. In my mind, I can do it quite easily. In my mind, I can also fill that soap bubble with a lot of stuff. Is it necessary? To shapeshift, to paradigm shift, to shift our cosmology. What is our intention? How can I, this is now asserting one of my intentions, how could I speak pattern in such a way that this cosmology, this Maya cosmology, can be transponded, transponded into any, if it's universal, it can be transponded into whatever paradigm, into any paradigm, because the patterns are universal. I've dived a little bit deeper into this. I started reading Jose Arguelles' Arcturus Probe. So if we're I read in German, so if I am needing to get it in English to use his terminology correctly. If we are pulsar surfing, the pulsars in the wave spell, I get it that the pulsars are multidimensional portals. He explains what at least Western scientific understanding of pulsars in outer space are, and how they are some kind of object that pulsates certain kind of frequencies. And the channeled material about that Jose represents or presents in that text seems to suggest these are multidimensional portals. And through the wave spells, these, yeah, well, toddler trying to explain cosmology here. I'm not coming out so well with this. But to a degree, I can see how my mind, and I gotta be a bit careful that not my Western logical mind is trying to fit this stuff for size. And monkey mind, we call it for a reason. Blue monkey is tone 13 in this wave spell, that this part of my mind isn't creating the illusion of understanding. Something that it is not designed to understand. But I am more than that part of my mind. Going back to identity, yellow lunar sun. There are many identities and they stabilize each other. There are many in the reflection of the outer world, and there may be many or several within ourselves. And they may be in harmony or they may clash. They say, if you want to learn something, teach it. So to me, this is a very nice attempt at explaining something that I myself am trying to understand. We have 4 pulsars, 4 basic pulsars in a wave spell. They start, or their core is tones 1, 2, 3, and 4. I spoke of this before. This is gonna get very technical, and I will lose anyone not along this technical trajectory. So let me see how we can play this thing. How can I break it down even for myself to kind of grasp or put words to it. Why would I want to put words to it? Why would I want to explain this stuff? My gosh, yeah, I want to understand it, but am I really believing that by going into words, I will grasp it? Do I really believe that there's a point in teaching this? Does this get taught, or does it just need to be lived? And then the very fact, if we can live it, because if I can't live this, none of my teaching has a point. But then again, I'm opening up into this information through someone having put it into words. Yeah, I'm going to do this for myself. This storm, to me personally, this storm in the wave spot of the storm is very, very important because it's part of my key core signature. It's my analog kin. And transformation is really important. My life purpose may just be light, enlightenment, embodying that, being that, nurturing that, birthing that, living that to whatever degree, whatever that means, to this third dimensional form and blah, blah, blah. I resonate with that. Transformation happens automatically and by itself. I was told it's not my role to transform or to be an active, intentional instrument. I'm not the transformer. Blue Storm is the transformer. It comes with me. We walk hand in hand. But my experience in life is, yes, very many times I connect with people and transformation happens either in their life, not, it just gets, they're either already on that path and they can appreciate whatever we share. I'm on that path, whatever, but I'm not the therapist. I may just be part of the catalyst. Everyone does everything themselves. Oh my man. And everyone in Lakesh Alakin is a reflection of me. This seems to be the most self-centered way of the self-centered cosmology. But if we're living in monotheism, if we're living in there's only one God, one divine, one source expressing itself through the many, then on that level there is only that one. But are the many reflections of each other? Well, to a degree. Let's get back to this blue storm thingy that I wanted to explore. My mind is tripping on illusion. My mind is tripping on the cosmic blue monkey a little bit. Looking for truth. Today, the red dragon is seal number 1 in the circle of 20 seals. And it is the first wave spell and the first seal, kin number 1, red dragon, wave spell of the red dragon. Twenty times 13, 260 days recycling through. earthing, nurturing being in the wave spell of the storm, which we're in now, catalyze energy and or self-generation, catalyze energy. Self-generation, catalyze energy. A catalyst is a transformer, it's an agent of transformation that that itself does not change. But things it comes in contact with change, are transformed. The lunar sun, now the blue storm, blue night, blue hand, blue monkey are the time pulsar. Fourth dimensional time. That's the motion we're moving through time. The pulsar, time pulsar. Transforming, auto-generation, abundance, auto-generating intuition, abundance, knowing, healing, solar healing, central radiant abundance, solar knowing, pulsing, realizing intention, and enduring, transcending presence of a magic play illusion. I realize in the second that I am kind of sort of I'm sensing the bind of limitation of the use of language, which is one of the reasons why poetry is so powerful, because it says things that transcend literal meaning. Poetry transcends the boundaries of words. So does music. There's this multidimensionality. I am a product of third dimensional materialistic thinking, and I realize how ingrained, how formed I am by that. I am. Be careful of I am statements, Tatiana. For therewith I identify with it. So let's rephrase that. I recognize the conditioning, I recognize the programming, and I recognize my participation in that programming. It's not my identity. It's not my core identity. It's a temporary avatar identity. Like a computer game, blue monkey. The different modes to play the earth life game are staggering. And yet there are only a handful of basic modalities. Two of those basic modalities is take it seriously, live it, be identified with it, or play it, see it like a computer game. Third dimensional view, fully immersive. If you look at it like that, you can say we've completely forgotten. You may say even taking it seriously and being totally in it is the same. It's just those models have forgotten. And then some models, us perhaps, anyone who can play consciously like that, has not forgotten the true identity, or at least has an opening toward that true identity, even if we still consciously or unconsciously uphold or allow the true identity to uphold the lock of forgetfulness. We still see there's a door, even if it's locked. the other side doesn't know there is a door, doesn't know there is another identity. And from this side, with the door open or not, we bring in this idea of NPCs. But it's very difficult to distinguish, if there are such things as NPCs, who is a character who's completely locked and unaware of the lock, and who is an NPC. And I don't know that it matters, because in our own life, an NPC is not who we engage with. So it doesn't matter. And they may be fully be sold or not. They could be virtual, like in a computer game. It doesn't make any difference, because even I, be sold as I may be, am an NPC in other operating systems game board plan. This may sound a bit crazy. Where am I going with this? Consciousness, identity. How do we play this game? And how much it's very interesting, the wave spell that precedes the next wave spell. The Skywalker before the sun, before the Skywalker, man. The Skywalker before the World Bridger. The World Bridger before the storm, and the storm before the human. We precede ourselves. And to a degree, we can get to live backwards. I'm seeing two time discs or circles, like maybe hula, or two clocks superimposed on each other, and one is going backwards and one is going forwards. How is this relevant? Because I have to choose my present. This cosmology is extremely different. It is so extremely different. Many of us, if you're listening to this, you're obviously, it's obviously relevant. So many of us are born with, how can I say? This saying, the cracks are where the light pours through. It's not a joke. Many of us are born with an opening, paradigmatic openings. They feel like cracks. They make us feel other to our core, to our home family. They make us know we are different. And many of us, this is true, and we are different. And we are not acknowledged in that difference in our home families. We cannot be, because we are the anomaly. All is well with that. The difficulty for many of us is, of course, we want to belong, and until we understand how we belong, that parts of us do not belong, but that's okay, because they belong somewhere else, but within ourselves it belongs together. We are the bridge, world bridger. We are the bridge between a new kind of consciousness, a different, whatever we want to call it. I can think of so many ways to call this, so many different analogies to give. Please fill in the blanks for yourself. And the port of origin. We are like the vessel that comes in from a very, very different shore. And we're docking in this port. We're being birthed into a world to transform that world. We are cross-pollinating. We're bringing spices from shores that have never been known over here. We're bringing viruses from lands that are not known over here. Yes, there's going to be some collateral, but eventually it's going to create something new. We bringing in something that is very difficult for some of us to fully acknowledge, because we need the reflection, we need someone to activate that within us. Not to activate it, it does activate, it's active. Sometimes we shut it down because it's too strange. And there are other world bridgers that are like, okay, I get it. You're giving words to something I know, something I am, something I feel, something now I understand. And that takes some life, that takes some experience to come into a deeper understanding of who we are and what is happening here, what's happening on the planet, what's happening in the solar system, what's happening in the galaxy. And it's kind of like you've got an umbilical cord, an invisible, third dimensionally invisible umbilical cord. I had to stop talking about this. Well, to source. And you know it. You've always known it. And many times we are drawn to religious or spiritual systems because they are the ones who, to a degree, have a language for it. And we may not buy into everything that their system says or that system says, but it's close enough to home for us that it's comfortable. And the storm, planetary star, the artist is the nonconformist. The artist is not the rebel. The artist is not usually the one who starts social reforms and revolutions. The artist is the revolution within. The artist does not disrupt social functioning, but the artist is usually, to a degree, freer. The artist is the one, we say, they march to their own drum. They do a thing their way. They dress the way they want to. They express life somehow, often more uniquely than going into H&M and buying a thing off there's 20 t-shirts and 20 trousers all the same, or 200 or 2,000, 20 million, all the H&Ms in all the world, and then we dress according to H&M's fashion suggestions and we look like everybody who shops at H&M. Fair enough, nothing wrong with that. And you don't have to express outwardly. It's like, for me, I could be very content. Part of me could be very content just wearing a uniform. Just give me 20 t-shirts and 20 pants and let me change them every day. They can be the same every day. I don't want to have to think about how I dress. For part of me, it's like, that's just such a waste of energy. But there is that other part of me that says, oh my goodness, give me colors and just let me sew my own stuff together in a way that doesn't make any sense at all. And just, be different. Break the mold, break the norm, be art. Just, I like wearing two different socks, noticeably different socks, not two different kind of black socks, but like one with blue, white, one with rainbow stripes and the other one black or something, gray or black or whatever, two obviously different socks. And I have a friend who, she gets slightly irritated by that. It breaks her flow. And every time I show up at her house and I take off my shoes and she's like, provocative again, are you? I'm like, I wasn't intending to be provocative. I'm just trying to remind myself that unconsciously I don't notice. But my subconscious would notice, like, you don't have to walk the beaten path. You can if you want to. You can if it makes it easier. I mean, you don't have to reinvent the wheel. It's just tiring as well. But, be free. The storm liberates auto-generate, self-generation. We generate ourselves from within. We choose. Who is, I've said it, I've asked it before, who guides this star? The warrior. The planetary star is guided by the warrior. Fearlessness, intelligence, questioning paradigms, questioning this is the way we do it, questioning truth every step of the way. If it's true, it will show itself true. And questioning paradigms, I speak about this very often, it's very, very difficult. Now wait, okay, now the star, planetary in this. So the star, I wanted to talk about these pulsars. And the cosmic monkey, the last cosmic tone, the world bridger, in the world bridger wave spell, cosmic mirror, order reflecting, and the mirror is attached to the star, is antipodal, but we are reminded at the furthest reaches of truth the truth is harmonious. It is, when truths are truly different, they form their own kind of like world, can I call it that? And then they form their own dimensions. I could say it like that. I could look at it like that. This is me just, whatever. But then we have portals between dimensions. Multi-dimensional portals. Should we call them pulsars? Why does it matter? You have to decide for yourself. Why does it matter? Can we conscious, why does it matter? Yellow human, my humanity. Oh, that's a question and an answer for another day. Why should I be an artist? Why should I live to my own drum? Why should I beat my own drum? Not everyone, I always say every human is an artist, but there are very many different kinds of artists. And for some, it's completely much easier to just follow prescription. And there are humans we would look at and say, that is not artfully lived. And that's fine. We don't have to understand that. Nobody listening to this is not an artist. I guarantee. Anyway, so they wait. Okay, order. I'm tripping over this yellow sun because I'm tripping over the shadow aspects of, I want to understand this cosmology, and they're like, here's this abundance, blue night overtone. In the yellow sun wave spell, it's self-existing. If we living in lack, or we're somehow not manifesting a life of abundance, and I reiterate, it doesn't mean being a billionaire, but it means having all you need to express all you want to express. And I have to ask myself where and why I don't. And that is really, really difficult. And it's not. And that clash, lunar sun, it's like there is a boundary, like a line in the sand, like the wires around an animal enclosure, and there's an electric current running through these wires, so these animals touch that now and then, I mean like once or twice, and then they know. And you can do what you want. You can stand there with the most delicious food. What will make that animal come so close that they risk touching that wire? Nothing, probably. I don't know. They have to be half dead before they, then come for that food and risk that little bit of electrocution. The system registers this pain, this little electrocution, which clearly doesn't kill, but it registers as danger. That's conditioning. I didn't want to talk about this, but here we are. Conditioning to me is so important to understand our conditioning if we want to transcend the limitation. The wave swell of the white world bridger comes before the wave swell of the transformer and auto generation, to the degree that we can or cannot transcend our limiting beliefs, and all beliefs are limiting. No matter how wide they are, there's always a wider, and that's fine. They're not prisons, although they can be experienced as prisons. There's the illusion. There's the cosmic blue monkey and the monkey in the wave swell of the world bridger. Tone 6 rhythmic. And now I'm going to dive into the pulsar. It's part of the lunar pulsar, the lunar base pulsar. In the world bridger, that rhythmic monkey, illusion, the belief that we can't overcome, the belief that we can't heal this, the belief that we're not going to do instant remission. If I have a pain in my body, why can I not go to bed, say, clear it up, go to sleep, and know it'll be cleared up in the morning? What belief blocks that? And we go to the doctor and we say, give me a pill, give me a treatment. That I believe in. Every healing is done by the body based on whatever belief paradigm. Whether you pop a white pill from a what, or whether you go to a shaman, or whether you sing a song, or whether you treat yourself with whatever. It all whatever method you choose that you believe in activates the self-healing, and whoever dictates to us, whoever is the former of our paradigms, what we believe heals us, and what we believe makes us sick, becomes the God in our universe. Why do we call them the gods in white coats? Our scientists and our doctors in that paradigm. And yeah, it doesn't have to be a problem or limiting belief. If you believe I go to the doctor, I get a pill, I get well, fine, works for me. I don't need to challenge that. It works for me. Anyone whose life completely works for them, yeah, oh yeah. Well, I see my own limiting beliefs, and I can see, sometimes I only see the shadow. In quantum physics, it's very often that they cannot see, we can't really see what we're looking at, what we see, or what we're trying to look at, or what we're trying to see. What we do see is the effect, and we deduce the cause based on the effect. And therein lies a lot of blue monkey, a lot of potential for illusion, because just like genetic determinism, or including like things like Darwinism or whatever, we deduce, we look at certain things, we piece them together, and we say, if it's like that, it must be by deduction caused, effect A must be caused by cause X. And as we go along, we clear those things up and we refine. Either we keep affirming and refining, or eventually, today's truth is tomorrow's lie. We come to realize we were wrong about that. The very same thing we do as humans. We may believe in Father Christmas or the Easter Bunny. We may believe when you marry someone, love lasts forever. We may believe all kinds of things until we realize, we were wrong about that. When it comes to emotion, we very often suffer disillusionment. Disillusionment can become the next prison. Paradigm. Can we just understand, we will love many, many times. We'll have our heart broken many times, just like you have your knees bruised as a kid. You don't grow up thinking, I cannot heal. I will never run. I will never dare. Some do. But generally speaking, you understand, you cut yourself in the kitchen, you cut yourself, you bruise, you fall, you break a leg, whatever. The body heals, no problem. The heart breaks over and over. It heals, no problem. That's the paradigm we need to live in. Prescription from Dr. Tatiana. I think it would serve us to shift that paradigm. But many of us have grown up in a world where broken hearts did not heal. And so we kind of, deep trauma, when it doesn't get integrated, when it doesn't get dealt with, collectively especially, it starts to form clusters, like emotions form clusters, thought forms form clusters, and then they form what in some circles is called entities. We are creative beings. We create them in certain dimensions. Emotions become autogenerative. You can map it. You can say, well, your neurology, your neurobiology forms certain pathways, and through those pathways, we affirm our neurobiology, we affirm our emotions, we affirm the kinds of thoughts we think. Like a radio dial that doesn't change, it always receives that radio station. We always channeling those feelings, those frequencies, those pulsar codes. And that again, in turn, forms our biology. It becomes a self-fulfilling loop, blue storm, auto-generation. And we gotta look, is it serving or not? Do we want this or not? Where's the human in the blue storm? It's not there. Cosmic monkey transcends this wave spell into the yellow human through the wave spells we've gone through before. So electric dragon today, birthing. What human are we birthing? Every day, every second of every day, we are birthing. Yesterday I listened to something that said, every second our bone marrow creates, red dragon produces a certain number of millions or billions of red blood cells. I mean, once we start really register this, which means if we're not growing bigger in every cell, the same number of red blood in every second, same number of red blood cells die. So red dragon and world bridger. Dying and living is a constant exchange. It's just an information exchange. It's transformation happens all the time, auto generation. But life is at the center, consciousness, awareness. But I don't want to talk consciousness. Oh man, that's again a paradigm, and it's again a to me it's a bit of a tricky scenario here right now, because it leads me straight into the shadow. It's like if there's consciousness, there's unconsciousness. A rhythmic sun in the wave swell of warrior earth. I mean, you gotta understand, you gotta go unconscious regularly, you gotta go into the dark regularly. There has to be pain to set off that yin and yang, lunarity, rhythmic, lunar. And here we're going pulsars. Are we going pulsars? Oh, calm down. You're talking too fast. Are we talking too fast? Does this make any sense? If I've lost you, this doesn't make any sense. It doesn't matter. It makes sense to me. It's in my space. Okay, wait. Pulsars. We're in the blue storm. The first pulsar. I'm going to try to put energy into this and make it. No, stop trying. Just do it. Well, we're in the life pulsar. We're in the sense pulsar. There is a time pulsar, fourth dimensional time pulsar, first dimensional life pulsar, atomic molecular structures. It's life forming. Atomic molecular, it's the invisible starts to form the visible. But it is through our brain, through our third dimensional identity, we have split that into the visible and the invisible, and made a God out of the visible, and identified ourselves with the visible parts of ourselves. We are the invisible. We are spirit. Matter is spirit. That just is, spirit has a third dimensional sense, and the sense pulsar. Wait a minute. Life, sense. Yeah, the sense pulsar is the second dimension, and the pulsar here, second dimensional pulsar, is the sense pulsar, and the third dimensional pulsar is the mind form pulsar. Mind forms. For me, I'm having my system is doing some, like, I can see the paradigm shift happening as I'm speaking, because it's so different. And a year ago, I looked at this information and something in me starts to resonate and goes giddy with yes, but my mind doesn't get it. And I don't really have a full now. I'm entering that field, and it's like, yeah. So how do we keep it practical? Let's break it down. The dragon birthing is in the position of bonding service in the auto-generative storm wave spell. So the electricity is provided or given to, but is shared between the storm and the dragon. The storm is the catalyst. The third tone is electric. Now this pulsar, now the storm, the sun, the dragon, and the wind together form like, they land up in the, can't. I'm not proficient enough in this. How does it land in the fifth tone? I can't explain it, which means in this case I haven't got full grasp on it. But I just see the beauty of it. This pulsar we're pulsating today, this red dragon, red serpent, and red moon, the second dimensional sense pulsar, birthing as a sense, sensing, birthing, sense, sensation, our senses, which they're two-dimensional. I wouldn't know. That's what the system says. Dragon, nurturing, serpent, life force, instinct, survival. We are birthing for survival. We're also dying for survival. There's like life is an exchange. We have to cleanse. A thing gets used and then it gets taken back into. If you take a banana, it has a peel and an inner. You eat the inner, the peel protected the inner, like the eggshell. The inner, the nurturing inner, grew inside the banana peel. Now you can trace that back to the first banana tree, to the first Adam and Eve, to the first atomic molecular structure, to the first, it's now anyway. You can trace it back to its origins in this now. It's just something made visible that is part of this thing we call God, we call life. And it expresses as you and as your life experience. And it's absolutely beautiful because a banana is totally beautiful. It's divine. Why does this matter? Why does it matter? Why does it matter? Why does it matter? Okay, it doesn't. I don't know why it matters. I keep asking this question, but it's fun. And then the moon, flow, universal water. So these three together form the sense pulsar. They, you. Oh, I have to make a video just on on the pulsars because I'm tripping up about the fact that this is too technical. And I do want to make a video about this, to talk about this so that I can learn it. I want to start a university about this. Where is the university about this? It exists already. Where's the club? We're birthing ourselves again and again and again. Every second of every day. So why are we birthing? Why are we repeating problematic patterns? Because they have become auto-generated. There's some belief in the system that whatever we're birthing, whatever we're manifesting serves. We need the updates to be auto-generative, and they are. In my books, anytime you get a cold, your system is going into update mode or shutting down so that the update, which runs automatically in the background, can download. I really believe when we just try to suppress the symptoms and get on with the life day and the busyness, we're not doing ourselves a service. And when there is a way to consciously support, to purposefully support the system, that no drastic means need to be provided. The system will force, the system won't force its updates, but it will, the survival, the red serpents, the survival, the cosmic updates that we receive if we have skipped, my MacBook is from 2013 or something. It hasn't been able to update its software in years. Hence, a couple of programs that I use on there my Photoshop and my Lightroom, I can't update certain aspects of them anymore because the newer versions don't run on my Mac OS. If we're blocking the downloads, at some point the next downloads become more difficult, and at some point the downloads can no longer load. Which means eventually, well, the hardware will not efficiently, is not updated. Man, this is fascinating. I'm sorry I'm stumbling around this. I'm thinking yellow human, free will. Do we evolve to being conscious shoppers, consciously choosing which software to install, which updates we're running, which OS we are running? And the body is not a hardware that installs a software. The body itself is the manifest software. It's not quite the same as our devices, hardware, software. It appears like that. And maybe it is like that. The software becomes the hardware. The software, neuroplasticity, the biology changes all the time. The hardware in your computer, in our computers, doesn't get replaced all the time the way the biological hardware gets replaced all the time. But when that replacement doesn't replace but just copies itself, instead of updating, it just copies. In the copy process, there is data loss. A photocopy has less data than the original. And if the original has 100 and the photocopy 80, if you keep photocopying off of the original, you'll always have, the new copies will always have 80. If you start making a copy of a copy, and this happens with JPEG photos as well, each time you copy a JPEG photo and make a copy of the copy, you move it, you copy it, not moving it, excuse me, copying it, there is a significant data loss. So when you copy from the 80%, there is only 80% of the 80%. And then it's, if you're having a TIFF, for example, you can copy TIFFs or DNGs, they call DNGs, you can copy them. There's no data loss, but they're so large, and the copies of them are as large, there's no data loss. But JPEGs experience a data loss. So if we're treating ourselves and our biology like that, and we're not updating, and we don't have a conscious way to update our software, we need to learn that, to consciously update so that creation happens. Red dragon, not just copying. The shortening of the telomeres. I guess they'll get there and give us a process or maybe a pill we can buy so that the telomeres get lengthened. I wonder if it can be done that way. I don't know. But I'm pretty convinced, or I'm buying the paradigm software that we can do it through our minds. It is a radical departure from the operating system I was born into and that the society I live in generally runs. The artist does not conform to the general operating system. Planetary star. I'm going to close this because it gets very long. There's a lot to say about how that works, the storm, to understand these wave spells, to understand how to become, how really to become this conscious thing, and the world bridger coming before this storm. I'm reminded of the world bridger right now every day, because it's kind of like wisdom and hindsight. And the yellow lunar sun is guided by human. Where is the world bridger here? Bear with me. I'm lazy to think. I'm giving myself a break. Of course, on 8, I'm giving myself a break. Sorry. You gotta be kidding me. You gotta be kidding me. We have only one world bridger in this entire wave spell. No musketeer, no guide. We see the cliff. Every day we see 5 cliffs, yeah? For anyone who's not knowing. Every day we have 5 energies present. The world bridger is here only once. I'm shocked. I didn't know. Amazing. That is so dense. If it here only once, must be so dense on the galactic tone, the galactic world bridger in the storm. Link me to the galaxy through the world bridger. Nothing else, nowhere else. Galactic world bridger. Wait a minute. Harmonize model integrity. Harmonize model integrity. And it shares a pulsar with tone 3, an overtone pulsar, and tone 13. So this overtone pulsar today, the dragon birthing, forming new blood cells by the billions or something every second in my bone marrow. I listened to a clip that speaks about the piezoelectric effect or something. Pressure on the bones, the bone marrow creates electricity. Pressure on the bones or breathing into the marrow, certain techniques, increases the heat inside the bones, increases the electricity, and creates, and that creates, that's like to understand how do these bodies work. How does the whole system work? Where are the black holes in my body? How does it, what longevity? Why? I mean, I'm an eternal being, of course, but I want to express in this body, any body, a physical form. It's great. It's not a prison. As long as I want to be here, I want this body to function the way I want it to function. Yellow human, wisdom, world bridger. Wait, Tatiana, you're jumping over hoops. This dragon, birth nurturing, electricity, bringing red blood cells. Life force, instinct, flow, universal water. That's that pulsar, and it's cross-dimensional. We're having a cross-dimensional pulsar in the overtone pulsar, which is the dragon world bridger monkey. Tones 3, 8, and 13. Tones electric, galactic, and cosmic. Electric, bonding, linking, service, harmony, model, integrity, transcend, endurance, presence. Do you see the picture? Do you feel it? Birth, let go. Birth, death, illusion. Nurture, equalize, play. What? Being, opportunity, magic. I would have to read these 3 words out in all their different combinations. like poetry. Through their combinations, we transcend. Birth, nurture, being, death, equalize, opportunity, magic, play, illusion. This illusion business trips me up. Trips me up. It doesn't fit. It trips up that old paradigm. It's like I trip over that. Fuck. Magic, play, illusion. The subconscious mind, we are told, does not understand, does not know the difference between what you imagine and what you really, the reality you experience. If you remember it, if you experience it, if you imagine it, if you think it about someone else, to your subconscious mind, it's all the same. The subconscious mind is apparently is the blue night, and out of that, your reality is created. It's what you eventually bring. It's because the more often you think something, it forms the groove. It forms the neurological connections. Neurons that wire together, fire together, and eventually it forms the so-called physical reality, and it becomes seemingly harder to change, but it isn't. It just takes some time. And to understand the nature of time and how to quantum jump, instant remission is absolutely possible. Do we need to know how to do it consciously? Or do we just need to understand, yep, snip your finger and there it goes? Play, magic, illusion. Death, equalize, opportunity, world bridging, galactic tone. I'm going to leave it here. I don't know who listened to the end of this thing. Gotta just let this reverberate. Tatiana, don't try to understand it because you're going to frustrate yourself. Your third dimensional mind is not ready for this transcendence. But we're getting there. Gotta believe that we're getting there. And monkey is attached to the yellow star, which is attached to the mirror, truth. The mirror is so important. It's the cosmic mirror that comes one day, one creational tone before the magnetic storm. And it is the transcendent tone in the world bridge of wave spell. So significant. Truth. Yellow sun, my own being, is electric in the wave spell of the white mirror. It forms the sense pulsar. When I am in a position to instantly hold the pulsars and to instantly cross-connect without having to think linearly in time, and you know what, maybe I'm living backwards. I'm saying we could say we. I'm thinking a living backwards. I'm living through the meter of memory. I'm learning a cosmology that I am. I have always lived it. I have always been it. I can totally see that I am expressed through this physiological form and this temporary identity. I am exploring consciously, unconsciously, shadow aspects, and I do very, very well to remind myself that that is a choice. Some part of me is saying, like, why am I going through all that bloody suffering for fucking what? I don't need it. It's not my reality. It's not my identity. It's not who I am. I know that. Why go through it? Why go through this forgetting of who I am? Why? And I know the answer. But the part of me that's asking the question doesn't know the answer. And I cannot tell the answer to it. There is no connection between those dimensions of myself. lunar sun. And therein is the stability. The polar opposites stabilize the whole system, or at least parts of the system. Because what on earth is the whole system? I mean, all right. Oh, I am having a deja vu from a very different dimension. This is very strange. Oh boy. Oh my goodness. Yeah, the whole human experience, and we're all sharing this human experience. We're sharing a human experience. And they're very, very, very different human experiences. Suffering, pain, illness, disease, dis-ease. I mean, all of us can agree, like, redundant. Do we really, is it, I meet my own pain. I meet people and their bodies have become a auto-generated collection of knots, disappointment made manifest through the body. It's like the body has become the straitjacket. The body becomes the straitjacket. Movement is painful. Chronic pain is permanent. And the desire to be well, how can you not clash? How do we live with that? For me, it pushes me into a state of desperation where I'm like, I want to just make this go away for you. Why do you need to live that experience? And what does it say about me? How unenlightened is that? Like for me, is this level of compassion feels completely unenlightened because clearly I'm not understanding something. But I can kind of like almost drown in empathy and resonate on a level of pain with another human that is debilitating for me. It's not helping that other human either. But it's like this desire to want to help, the desire to want to make it better. And then not knowing how, or not being in the position, or what can I do? Send light, send prayers. If I focus on their pain, I am probably just enforcing it. A better option would be to focus on someone's wellness, to focus on that person dancing through their life in joy and wellness, and saying, man, that was a difficult period, and there was a time when I didn't even believe it would get better, and that was really hard, but now I'm out of that by the grace of God, by a passage I didn't know existed, maybe a world bridger passage I didn't believe in. How do we get to a place we want to get to, but we can maybe not even believe it? can we hold the light for each other? Can we believe? Can I be an instrument of believing in your well-being, in someone else's well-being, where they cannot believe it? Can I see the door, the open door, that that person may not be able to see? And I can see all they want is that hope. Looking perhaps outside themselves for healing and coming up with disillusionment after disillusionment after disillusionment and cementing. And if I see that, I am also cementing. Oh, Tatiana, this is really, and I have to apply this to myself, because as I see myself reflected in my environment, I need to do this, not just talk about it or understand it. And I can see where naturally I've been doing this unconsciously. Now, the minute I raise consciousness to any aspect of reality, I automatically, lunar sun, bring into consciousness its opposite. And what does it need not to give equal amount of reality to the direct and opposite force and not negate it? Oh man, that is, not negated, relegated into shadow, but to integrate polarity, integrate polar opposites as a part of life consciously, with love and compassion. And still, the lunar sun is not the magnetic sun. The lunar sun is the stabilizing challenge of the storm. Oh man, see. And it starts the life pulsar. The yellow lunar sun life pulsar. I wasn't going to go there, but I'm going there. The life pulsar. Life. Yellow sun stands for life. Lunar sun. This life pulsar consists of the lunar sun, stabilizing challenge, life, enlighten, universal fire. Then the seed, the rhythmic seed, focus, blossom, whatever, and the star, the planetary star, harmonized model, integrity. I'm sorry, that cancel that. That's the original part of the star, indeed, but it's the galactic tone. The star stands for art, elegance, and beauty. Art, elegance, and beauty. Elegantly combining. That's the life pulsar. Sun, star, seed. Focus your polarity on elegance and beauty. It requires that. Don't relegate it into a problem. Allow your freedom to be beautiful. Okay, I get it. Now the cross-dimensional pulsars link the lunar sun with the resonant serpent and my birthday, this wave spell, cosmic dog. I gotta really understand this because I want to be that cosmic dog. So I am a part of the cross-dimensional overtone pulsar here in the storm. Lunar sun, resonant instinct, life force, survival, resonating with the lunar sun, stabilizing, challenging, stabilize, challenge, whatever that third word is today. And this cosmic, no, crystal dog. Not, did I say cosmic dog earlier? I apologize. Crystal dog. The words escape me. Universalizing cooperation. I want that word. Universalize, cooperate. Dedicate, universalize, cooperate, heart, love, loyalty. Now, while we are here, look at the second word today. Polarize, stabilize, challenge. Polarize, stabilize, challenge. Okay, the mind does not need to understand all of that. There's a lot of information. It can't hold all these informations at the same time. Poet, come, yellow star, planetary star. 2 years ago, I was a planetary sun guided by the star. I'm going to timeline jump myself back to that 2 years ago. I was very aware 2 years ago that I wasn't doing justice to the planetary sun. Really, I wasn't. I was so in shadow, like it was nobody's business. I was like not so in shadow, but I was guided by the star, and I really wasn't artful about it at all. At least I felt I wasn't. I'm going to course correct that on hindsight. Please, Tatjana, just do it. Just really do it. I'm a little bit nervous because when I did it in the World Bridger, it landed me in such a jam. At least I feel it landed me in such a jam because my limiting beliefs showed up. Maybe they were transformed, and I was just holding on to a past that I no longer was. Blue monkey illusion. Whatever. Now I'm trying to fill in the blanks, but there are no blanks. Just move through it with grace. Go to sleep. Maybe I just didn't sleep enough. Whatever. So I'm going to do another timeline jump, reconnecting to my planetary sun, guided by the planetary star. And this planetary star is guided by the planetary warrior. And I'm fearlessly going to go back and reinstall the artist. They really install the artist in the planetary sun in a way that I didn't. The art of allowing. The art of allowing. Why is it an art? Why do we call it the art of allowing? Why is that an art? An art form, the art of being human. Which yellow human is guided by the star? Go away, I need to know this now. Not the star guided by the human. Which human is guided by the star? I should know this off by heart. 4 and 9, the solar human and the self-existing human are guided by the star. The self-existing human and the solar human, self-existing human in the moon wave spell, and the solar human in the seed wave spell. That's an exploration for another day. You see that we can go on and on and on and on. Does it create joy? It did create joy for me. Is anybody still listening? I doubt it very much. Does it matter? Absolutely not. The proof is in the pudding. It's not just a theory. My proof is in my life, and I can see it in my past. And I see it in the way I used to so artfully navigate my shadow, and the beauty of the artist, the beauty of my life. I cannot bring out the words to say the beauty of me. That is not allowed. Sounds conceited. I was born in a paradigm where I was not allowed to acknowledge my own beauty. That was called being whatever. But I can peacefully and self-respectfully say I can see the beauty of my life, and I can absolutely affirm the beauty of my life experiences. Some of them are very hectic and uncomfortable, but if that's the balancer of what I'm capable of experiencing, I would live my life over in a heartbeat just for what I have experienced so far? Am I living some fear of becoming decreased in my functionality because I see that people have taken that path? Can I learn for myself to understand how I do not need to take that path? How I keep my functions functioning optimally? How I keep my telomeres like little fingers groping for life, like out there, like my hands touching. My hands are sensory organs. The blue hand, healing, knowing, accomplishment. We do things. We can do things. The hand can be part of the sense pulsar, and it leads the sense pulsar in the wave spell of hand, word bridger, serpent, life force, instinct, survival. The telomeres are like little fingers. When they shorten, it's because they're no longer reaching for life. They're no longer reaching to explore new life experience. My fingertips are sense organs to touch things. If I'm no longer, you know, when you're young, I'm going to talk sex, I'm going to talk love making, because the life force, kundalini, instinct to survival is also very much linked to sexuality and sensuality. When you explore love making and you explore your own body or another body, the senses, the fingers to explore, touch, skin. What do you feel like? What do I feel in my fingertips when I touch your body? What do I imagine you feel when my fingertips touch your body? All of that is deeply satisfying, and it enervates the muscles in my hands, which enervates the bones, which movement, breath, touch, the muscles. When we move muscles, it pulls on the bone, it puts pressure onto the bone, and that activates the energy and the life force produced in the bone marrow, red blood cells, hello, and whatever else. This is just one trajectory, but the telomeres are doing just that. It's just a fractal of the same thing. If my mind no longer, the telomeres of my mind no longer, I want to use the word grope, but like I'm seeing like tentacles going out into the dark. Why is the sun radiating, sending the light out there? It's sending its photons or whatever, pulsars or whatever we call them, however we understand them, out into the universe. Like, I'm out there to meet you. I'm sending my information out, but every particle out there that I touch as a photon of myself. And there are like, how many numbers we can't. We can't put a number to it. It's limitless. It's like, probably not, but it's like, and we don't need to put a number on it, but everything sends information because we are quantum entangled with ourselves. Every photon that touches anything sends information back to the sun instantly. Our human mind cannot compute that. I'm not the human mind, but this, like, whatever part of me is talking, can't compute that. But reality is computing it, is experiencing it. And quantum physicists are like groping in the dark and they are loving it. Zuvuya surfers are surfing. What am I doing? I'm loving this. Lovers are touching each other's bodies and they're loving it. Food, your taste buds are touching and tasting, and it's loving it. Passion, life, yellow sun is passionately exploring. Why do the plants grow towards the sun and loving it? The roots are digging deeper into the earth and loving it. Picking up water, sucking up water, loving it. Breathing in the air, loving it. It's love, it's sex, life is sex. Every aspect of it is as an act of union. If a tree sucks up water, that water becomes part of the tree. If the tree is using whatever energy from the air to build itself, that is the act of creation. It's becoming more. Now the trees keeps on growing, keeps on growing. At some point it grows very little and it stays maybe pretty and at some point it dies. As a human, at some point we do more dying than we do living, then sooner or later we do more dying than we do living. And more and more and more dying until we die. It's fine, because the soul doesn't stop living, right? Life doesn't stop experiencing itself through this perpetuum mobile of itself. And if it ever did, it's fine. If all of it ever disappeared, it couldn't, but if it did, it would be fine, because all we need is the bit that we have access to. That's all that matters. Tomorrow doesn't matter. It doesn't exist. It doesn't matter. Nothing about tomorrow matters at all. Nothing. Because all you are is this moment. All I am is this moment. And that's a radical departure from the way we traditionally live. Now, it doesn't mean you don't need a plan. Where am I going to make my holiday? Where am I going to go? What am I going to plan? What am I going to have for dinner? Yeah, but there's another kind of obsessive thinking about all that stuff that we don't need. Okay, now I'm going into preach mode. Oh, Jesus, what a ride. Now I got to re-enter 3D orbit. There's a lot to do. It's another day waiting for me. And I got to do shit today that I've been really procrastinating for days, but I haven't procrastinated. It was just not part of, really just my knickers and so many knots. When I don't flow, the moon is part of today's pulsar, the sense pulsar. When I can't flow with what is, or I feel I should be doing things that I shouldn't be doing. I don't need to do. I have time to do them in another time. But I can I put a lot of blocks into my flow when I can't. The World Bridger really showed me that. And it's very good to explore consciously what happens when I don't flow. And now I don't have to constantly think back. I just can say, lunar sun, explore the polar opposites, only one World Bridger in this entire wave spell. It's enough. We've done it. We've done it well and deep and thoroughly last wave spell. We can just remember it now and understand we are you're like bam 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 bam. Stop it already. Okay, there's a piece of my passion. At least I've enjoyed it. And enjoying my own echo chamber. I did it again, 1.5 hours of what? I know why nobody comments, because nobody makes it to the place where I ask, can you write something in the comment box? I'm sure anybody who heard me say that would be like, here you go. We made it this far. You wouldn't have a problem writing that. This is not clickbait. It's just like pure sheer curiosity. Who on earth are you? Nobody. It's just me here. I should write in the comment box, Tuts, you are all alone here. And you know what? It's all right. It's truly all right. And maybe there's safety in that. I don't have to feel bad that I'm just rambling on, because nobody listens to the ramblings. I get to just enjoy it. Okay, I wish us a beautiful day into the quantum field I speak. Galactically, cosmically, linking, bonding, service, the dragon, birthing, life experience every second of every day. I say hello to God. God says hello to me. We say hello to us. Us says hello to we. You are another me. I am another yourself. In Lakesh, Alaki. Let us breathe it all in and get some food into this growling stomach. Banana loaf. Banana loaf and coffee. And a little bit of cheese. I think that sounds about good. Oh.